Hello everyone, welcome to Consulter and InterlingIQ.com. To conduct a document review, utilize the Internal Audit and Inspection Program under the SQF Module 2.5.4. First, check if the document title matches the uploaded file name on the dashboard. In this instance, we both have the same titles as the Internal Audit and Inspection Program. Next, both must have the same document code. For this example, we do have the 2.5.4. And since this is a template, we indicate the PCQI as the account initials. However, we can customize the code based on the company's initials. For the page number, we use the page X of Y format. Ensure that it reflects the current page position and the total page number of the document. Then you may insert the company logo here, together with the company name and company address, and you may enter the designated department. For the originated by section, it can be the food safety, quality assurance, or the quality control personnel of the company. The originator ensures the implementation of the quality management and document control system. Enter the name of the originator, affix the signature, position title, and the date originated. Next, for the reviewed by section, it can be the personnel assigned in the quality management department who reviews the drafted document or its revision for accuracy and implementation. Again, enter the name of the reviewer, affix the signature, position title, and the date reviewed. Next, for the approved by section, it must be the person in the C-level management who has the approval authority. Enter the name of the approver, affix the signature, position title, and the date approved. For the revision date, it is the same as the date originated or drafted by the author. For the effective date, it is the date the document was signed and approved. The publication date is when the document is published for distribution and initiated personal training. The implementation date is when the document is distributed and personal training is completed. Last, for the supersedes, put original for the initial issuance of the document. For any revisions, reflect the initial revision date before the current revisions. And please be reminded that this section must be properly filled out to be compliant. Now we will focus on the components of the program. First we have is purpose. The purpose is the implementation of any certification standard or compliance with a regulatory requirement. And for this program, it is for implementation with the SQF Module 2 Edition 9 for food manufacturing under Clause 2.5.4. And first we have is to implement SQF 2.5.4.1. The methods and responsibility for scheduling and conducting internal audits to verify the effectiveness of the SQF system shall be documented and implemented. Internal audits shall be conducted in full and at least annually. The methods applied shall ensure 1. All applicable requirements of the SQF Food Safety Code, food manufacturing are audited per the SQF audit checklist or a similar tool. 2. Objective evidence is recorded to verify compliance and/or compliance. Third, corrective and preventive actions of deficiencies identified during the internal audits are undertaken. Audits results are communicated to relevant management personnel and staff responsible for implementing and verifying corrective and preventive actions. Next, to implement SQF 2.5.4.2, staff conducting internal audits shall be trained and competent in internal audit procedures, where practical staff conducting internal audits shall be independent of the function being audited. To implement SQF 2.5.4.3, regular inspections of the site and equipment shall be planned and carried out to verify good manufacturing practices and facility and equipment maintenance are compliant to the SQF Food Safety Code, food manufacturing. The site shall 1. Take corrective actions and corrective and preventive action, and 2. Maintain records of inspection and any corrective actions taken. Next, implement SQF 2.5.4.4, records of internal audits and inspections and any corrective and preventive actions taken As a result of internal audit shall be recorded as per 2.5.3. Changes implemented from internal audits that have impacted on the site's ability to deliver safe food shall require a review applicable aspect of the SQF system, and you may refer to 2.3.1.3. Second, we have the scope. The scope of the program is based on the purpose and serve as guide in defining and describing layout of the procedure. Under scope, we have audit program, internal audit training, internal audit schedule, frequency, and records. Next, for policy, the policies are the rules set by the company as their implementation guide. First we have here is corrective actions describe the responsibility for investigating and identifying the root cause of the problems resulting from internal and external audits, customer complaints, CCP limit violations, recall or withdrawal, or any food safety deviation resulting in undesirable event. The methods used to correct and control the situation, including disposition of affected product back to the last good check, and what action is to be taken to prevent recurrence of the problem are included. Internal inspections are performed to ensure the site environment and processing equipment is maintained in suitable condition for food production. Inspections are performed by trained, cross-functional team members representing different levels of management. Inspections assess food handling and processing, equipment, grounds and structures, and cleaning, housekeeping performance, pest management, food defense, food fraud, and any identified risk to the product from building, equipment, or personnel. Fourth, we have the procedure. The procedure is the step-by-step process and the actual implementation of the policy. First, we have the audit program. Audit activities are performed regularly to ensure the operation runs efficiently and to identify faults in the system for any improvement. Next is internal audits. Audit criteria performed utilizing the SQF Edition 9, Guidance Module 2 and 11. Audit schedule. Schedule emphasizing the elements of Module 2 and 11 are to be performed in sectionalized tasks monthly to be completed on the annual basis. And you may refer to the internal audit schedule form. Internal audit log. All audits performed by both external or internal auditors are to be logged and recorded utilizing the internal audit log. This log is to be presented upon request to auditors to assure compliance, and you may refer to the internal audit log. Internal Auditor Registry. A registry of the authorized and qualified auditors is maintained utilizing the Auditor Registry. A copy of the Qualified Auditor's Training Certification is attached to the registry for reference and verification, and you may refer to the Internal Auditor Registry. Next, area requiring improvements observations are annotated on the summary page of the internal audit form. Corrective actions include root cause and preventive actions are to be documented on the CAPA form, referencing the observation or the area requiring improvements. Next, review the traceback system as outlined in 2.6.2 are included as part of the annual internal audit program, and you may refer to the product trace program. Next, we have internal audit training. Staff conducting internal audits are trained in auditing techniques, information gathering, and objective observation. Next is training is provided by the external source. Next, internal audit schedule. The audit schedule may be based on customer complaints, internal or external food safety events such as recalls or regulatory warning letters, internal or external audit results. Next, we have records. All internal audits, including any corrective action taken, are recorded. Internal audits and results are communicated and included in the management review, and you may refer to the management review program. Lastly, we have the frequency. Annual internal audit of the complete SQF system, monthly GMP internal inspection. Fifth, we have the responsibility. The responsibility of the person is indicated. It covers what to perform to comply with the procedure policy. And we have here is the SQF practitioner, and he's the one to ensure the internal audits are performed as scheduled. Next, we have the quality personnel. It performs corrective action as required per the internal audit area of improvements identified by the auditors. Next is qualified auditor. Third-party auditors are authorized by management to perform internal audit functions. Cross-departmental personnel may perform internal audit functions and must undergo internal auditing training and certification before performing assigned tasks. Personnel may not be performed an internal audit of their respective department due to conflict of interest, and you may refer to the internal auditor registry. Last, record and summarize all areas observed requiring improvements or compliance and present the observation findings to the facility or affected departments or quality personnel for corrective actions, implementation, and training requirements. And you may refer to internal audit, QMS, SQF annual. 6. We have is corrective action. The corrective action is the process of taking appropriate steps to eliminate causes of nonconformities or other undesirable situations. So we have here is retraining and evaluation of all personnel on this policy and reference SSOPs. 7. We have the review quality. The review section serves as guidelines for conducting the annual or periodic review. And we have here, the first one is an internal audit procedure and schedule that adequately covers all SQF system elements. Sufficient resources are allocated to conduct internal audits as per schedule. Staff conducting internal audits are adequately trained. Staff conducting internal audits are independent of the area being audited. Corrections and corrective actions of identified deficiencies are collectively allocated, follow-up, and completed. Internal audits results are communicated to relevant management and staff. Internal audit reports and their follow-up are reviewed as part of the management review process. Records are kept of internal audits and the corresponding corrective actions. Next, we have the reference documents. The reference documents are the set of documents used to implement and monitor a program, policy, and procedure. And we have here is the product trace program, internal audit, QMS, SQF annual, internal audit schedule form, internal audit schedule form, internal audit registry, internal audit log, corrective and preventive action report, management review program. Ninth, we have the references. The reference section is composed of guides utilized to implement the program. Examples are the certification guide, regulations, and other widely accepted scientific journals, research, and the like. It must also comply with the standard format citation, which can be based on either MLA, APA, Chicago style, and update the access date. And under reference, we have the SQF Edition 9, Food Manufacturing 2.5.4, Internal Audits and Inspections. Next, Internal Audits and Inspection, SQF Edition 9, Guidance Document. And lastly, we have the history. The history section is where we can update the program if there are any changes or revision made in the document. And if there is a revision, enter the revision number, the revision date, description of change, the author or the originator name, and the title department of the author or the originator. Thank you for participating in this document review. This is based on the interpretation of standards and best practices. It must be customized for your intended use. To fully customize your programs, policies, procedure, forms for records, and lessons for training, you may contact Interlink IQ, Consultor Inc. at services@interlinkiq.com or simply call 202-982-3002.